guys, can y'all step back just a little bit? Is that okay? Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, Nancy.
Hold on.
First of all, thank y'all for coming out this afternoon, and I want to start by.
All right. We're here with Governor John Bel Edwards, who just toured the damage in St. Bernard Parish, so let's go straight to him.
Evening, I should say, and then overnight by Guy McGinnis and his team here in St. Bernard Parish, but Sheriff Jimmy Pullman, and then so many people from surrounding parishes. It's really inspirational to have leadership like that, and then I think the lesson that we can take from this is what it means to be neighbors to one another when something like this happens. Because as we've been walking this neighborhood, the one thing that people tell me more than anything else is how thankful they are for their neighbors. Because as soon as the neighbors realized they had made it through, they were out checking on other people and actually rendering assistance and so forth. And so we always are inspired by the generosity and the decency, the goodness of the people of Louisiana, and their resilience. And this is certainly no different. You know, we conducted a flyover on the way in earlier, and the swath of damage is just tremendous. And the nature of a tornado, it doesn't really make sense, because you have one house totally destroyed. The house next to it looks like it's not hurt at all, but the amount of damage that we've seen, you would think, especially when you know that people were home when this happened, you would think that we would have had a lot more deaths and injuries. We can be very thankful that there was only one. Of course, if you're in that family, then it was 100%, right, for that family. So let's everybody lift that family up in prayer, and pray that God will give them some peace and comfort that defies all human understanding. And then there were about 8 individuals who were injured enough that they had to go to the hospital and be treated. So from that perspective, I can tell you it could have been a lot worse, and we can be thankful that it wasn't. From the state's perspective, I can tell you that we sent folks down here last night to aid in the urban search and rescue, and those primary searches happened during the darkness when there wasn't electricity, and working with all the locals, and then today we finished the secondary searches, and it's the fire marshal's office that's primarily responsible for that, but there are more than 100 fire marshal's offices, officials I should say, here doing that right now, and they have already assessed more than 600 residences and businesses and documented the damage that was sustained by them as they do that. We also have about 40 state police officers on the ground assisting with traffic control and security. We have 893 guardsmen working today. Now, not all of them on the tornado, but about 184 are. And the good news is we have Jackson Barracks, which is right next door, where we can marshal resources. We're doing that in terms of tarps. In fact, tarps have already been delivered to the fire station here, but we've got more coming to Jackson Barracks, and thousands of liters of water, thousands of meals right there. And I've authorized up to 300 guardsmen should we need them. And I think you're going to see over the coming days a really big effort from the guardsmen with their engineers to go out and pick up debris and clear routes, so that we can clean this area up. If there's a silver lining right now, it is that we do have beautiful weather. We're going to have it for several days, and we're going to try to do everything we can to clean up this area, get the debris removed, or restore electricity, and get people's lives right side up as best we can as soon as possible. There are remaining about 2,500 or so power outages based on the latest information we have from the Public Service Commission. But you can see there are crews out all over Arabi, and I suspect, Mr. President, you're going to see good progress made on power restoration just as very quickly because of the weather and how many crews we have who are out here. But I do want to take a moment to remind people that in natural disasters, especially when you have power outages, a lot of times the biggest loss of life isn't from the storm itself, it's from the operation of generators. And so we ask people to please be safe. Make sure that that generator is operated at a safe distance from your home, never in the home, never in a crawl space, never next to a window or a vent. And please make sure you turn it off and let it cool for 20 minutes or more before you actually refuel it. And we've had a lot of problems with carbon monoxide deaths and with fires started from refueling. There was a significant amount of damage, as you can see, but at this point, we don't know whether we're going to meet the thresholds necessary to qualify for federal assistance. In terms of public assistance and individual assistance, we are monitoring that, and we're on the ground. The Fire Marshal's office has already used Survey 123. I told you about the 600 structures that have already been assessed, but we're asking homeowners and renters to report, to self-report to GOSEP, so that we can keep a list, and as soon as possible, if we're able to justify it, we will make that request for assistance. But you can do that on your phone or on the computer. You go to damage.la.gov, and you can actually upload photos. You can describe the damage that has been done to your structure, and that would be very helpful. Again, that's damage.la.gov. You know, tornadoes are kind of strange. We had a tornado in 2017 in New Orleans East. At the end of the day, we qualified for individual assistance but not public assistance. After that, we had a tornado up in Lincoln Parish in Ruston, and we qualified for public assistance but not individual assistance. And right now, we don't know. But there's a dollar threshold, and we're going to have about $7.6 million in damage to public infrastructure if we're going to get assistance with that from the federal government. But I do want, while I'm talking about the federal government, I do want people to know that I received calls today from the White House and from the FEMA administrator. They're leaning forward to help with anything that we need, so long as we qualify for that assistance. The one thing that I feel very comfortable about is the Small Business Administration will make available its loan program. And I think that's going to be turned on very quickly. And so I want people to be leaning forward on that if that happens to be able to assist them in this time of need. There is a Small Business Development Center office out there, and the New Orleans regional office is at Xavier University, and you can go to louisianasbdc.org in order to get that information. We're going to ask people to please stay off the roads, especially in the area of Arabi. Traffic control is very difficult, but we also still have a lot of debris, as you all can see. They're down on the roads, and so we're going to ask people to be patient and allow the folks here the opportunity, the time that they need, and the opportunity in order to clear the roads of debris and make them safe. So with that, I'm going to ask the President if there's anything that you wanted to share with the group. President McGinnis.
Governor, thank you for all of your assistance, all of our representatives here, Congressman. Thank you guys for everything y'all doing. Our citizens are resilient. We're going to get back up and going as soon as we can. And with this weather that God has given us, we're going to get our citizens back sooner rather than later. And Governor, with all of your help and the federal help, we're going to make this happen really quick. And as you can see, the community's already picking up, and our first responders in our Sheriff's Department and firefighters are working hard to make sure that this scene is secure moving forward. Sheriff?
Yeah, on a security and public safety standpoint, again, if you have no business back here, just stay away from here. We're not going to allow any sightseers coming on back here. There's just simply too much stuff going on. The first responders are working still back here, providing both security and assistance to the people in the area. But we also don't want anybody back here that don't belong back here. So again, tonight we're going to have extra patrols out here in this area because some areas may not have power. So we want to make sure that those areas particularly are secured. And again, like I said, don't come causing a problem for us because we're going to cause a problem for you.
And I can assure you he's going to have not just the St. Bernard Sheriff's Office, but he's got deputies who are going to come from surrounding parishes. We're going to have about 40 more state troopers than we would normally have in this area, and we're going to have National Guardsmen in the area offering security as well. And that's something that we're able to do because of the declaration of emergency that I signed earlier this morning. Congressman Carter, we're happy to have you here today. It's unfortunate it's under these circumstances, but we'll give you
Thank you all, and the governor, and president, sheriff, and all of our elected officials, and National Guard and first responders. This is one of those situations where, unfortunately, we've gotten too good at this because we've had too much practice. We know that people are hurting, but the good news is that we've got boots on the ground, as the governor has said. Parish officials have been incredible. The surrounding parishes and the ancillary agencies have stepped up, and will continue to. As the governor has said, we've been in communication with the White House and with federal agencies, and when and where we are available to do what's necessary to help stand these communities back up, both here in Arabi as well as in eastern New Orleans and other areas that may have been impacted. The beauty is the resiliency of the people. We've had a chance to talk to these community people and talk to the people who were devastated to only leave their homes to go next door to help their neighbors. And that is the definition of love and neighborhood. And that's the resiliency of this community, and we all stand ready to continue to assist.
Okay.
Governor, if I can just say, the overwhelming support from the region, from people, from organizations, money, offering to come cook for the residents. It's really overwhelming, and just be patient with us. We got to clear these scenes. We got to make sure that it's safe to get people back here. Believe me, we want the volunteers back here helping these people clean up all of their debris, get back in their homes, and cook for them while they do it. So just give us a call at parish government, and we will organize all of that and get all of the volunteers to work out here.
Thank you. We'll take a few questions.
This is an issue that came up during Ida, and it reared its ugly head, but what can you and everybody else here do to make sure that these homeowners who are going to need insurance money from their private insurance carriers get made whole, and for a lack of a better term, don't get the short end of the stick from their insurance company?
Well, obviously you hope anytime that you have a covered peril damage your home that you get the benefit of the insurance premium dollars you've already paid according to that insurance contract. The homeowners that I spoke to in this visit to this neighborhood, thankfully each of them did have insurance, which is a good thing. And I have every expectation that the insurance companies are going to step up and do what they're supposed to do, and without undue delay. It's easier, quite frankly, to do that after a tornado than a hurricane, because you have fewer homeowners who are affected, and you should be able to surge your adjusters in that area for a relatively short period of time, get your proof of loss information done. So I don't expect to have the same problems, but we know, and you can go back to my talk before the legislature just at the beginning of last week. We know it's been a tremendous problem, not just after Ida, but after Laura and Delta and Ida, all of those. And so we're calling on the insurance companies to do the right thing, just give the people the benefit of the premium dollars that they paid for, and treat them with respect and conduct themselves in good faith. And I expect that they'll do that, and there's absolutely no excuse not to do it in this situation, because we don't have tens of thousands of claimants. Okay, we have enough. We have more than we want to have, but we don't have tens of thousands. They should be able to handle this.
Governor, how advantageous would it be to get a disaster declaration here? How much more help could they get, and how close do you think we are?
Well, we don't know, and we know that, for example, to ask the federal government, FEMA, for public assistance, we have to have $7.6 million to public infrastructure. Quite frankly, we've looked around. I don't think we're gonna meet that. And then there is no objective formula that tells you when you qualify or don't qualify for individual assistance. So we're going to collect all the information. We do have FEMA with us here on this trip. They're embedded with us. I've already talked to the FEMA administrator. We're gonna give them all of the damage information, let them know all of the low to moderate income homeowners and renters that have suffered damage to where they were living, and detail all the other elements of damage and see what we can qualify for. But we're not waiting for that in order to start helping. And you see that state declaration of emergency allows us to move in the National Guard, the state police, the commodities, and we've already received some requests from the parish about assistance that they may need to pay for the debris removal, assuming that we're not going to get FEMA assistance. And so the good news is the legislature is in session. We have the funding available, and we're going to find the quickest available way to deliver the assistance that they need here to make sure that we can get the debris removed. And trust me, if it's even a close case as to whether we qualify for public assistance or individual assistance, we will be asking for that. But one of the things I want to do today is just remind people that while this destruction is very significant and it's overwhelming here in this community, it's not widespread enough to where it becomes an event that is available for federal assistance absent meeting those thresholds. And it's kind of a double-edged sword. I was talking to the president about this earlier. You pray that the damage is not so widespread and significant that you qualify for federal assistance, but for the people who need it, you want that assistance to be available. So we're working through that. Anything else?
Talk about the spirit of the people here and what you're seeing. 17 years ago, this area was all but wiped out by Hurricane Katrina. They rebuilt. Most people that you've talked with say they're going to rebuild again. If you can talk about just the spirit of the people here in St. Bernard Parish.
Well, first of all, this parish lost more population after Katrina than any other parish in the state, especially as a percentage of St. Bernard. They rebuilt. And they're resilient, wonderful people, and that was on full display last night. The way that they were taking care of one another, and you know, I say this all the time. I am always inspired by the goodness, decency, and generosity of the people of Louisiana Brazil. That's not the case anywhere more than it is right here in St. Bernard Parish, and I think that's a testament to the folks who are here. And look, it's more than people should have to bear. Right? I mean, it just is. Ida came through this area just this past August, and you know we're still recovering from that in many ways, and that contributes to the need for the parish to actually ask for additional assistance because there are cash flow issues when they're trying to pay bills related to Ida, and then all of a sudden you get additional bills of the same nature related to this disaster, and that's why we're going to work with them. And I want the people of St. Bernard to know that we're going to work as hard as we can, as fast as we can, to deliver as much assistance as is needed here in St. Bernard Parish. And it's always true that the faith-based community can move faster because they don't have the bureaucratic hurdles to go through, and then neighbors helping one another. And so that's going to be very, very important in the immediate short term, but we're going to be here for you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Maybe one more question, guys?
Well, look, thank y'all for covering this, and I think that you will do a great job of showing not just the state, but the country, just the utter devastation in this community and what these people have experienced overnight, and the fact that this cleanup, this recovery is going to take some time, and so we appreciate the generosity of people from all over the country and across the state, and please remain willing to deliver assistance. Just be a little bit patient because it can't all come at the same time. There's no way to manage that, but if you'll work with St. Bernard Parish, we'll make sure that the assistance that you can provide will be directed to its highest and best use. So thank you all so much.
Thank y'all.
John Bel Edwards.